Have you ever felt the pain of golden path guilt?
It's like a developer sits you down, they craft this amazing narrative, and then instead of experiencing that, you just kind of wander off and go, I want to steal that NPC sword.
It's the difference between searching for Ciri in The Witcher 3 and kind of forgetting you were supposed to be looking for your son in Fallout 4.
Both games have similar objectives, but they're executed differently. I think of it like this. There are games that I play because I want to check the box. I want to complete the quest. I want to steal all of the good loot. And on the other side, there are games that I play because I love the character depth. I'm intrigued by the warring factions. I enjoy listening to the voice acting and reading the dialogue trees. And most importantly, I like watching the story unravel.
Immersive stories give player agency, like the choice to roam free in a sandbox world, or the choice to experience a cinematic story.
Golden Path Guilt is the result of all of the storytelling blocks coming together. Like Spider-Man with Mary Jane in one hand and a bus full of children in the other. It's important to remember that with great power comes great responsibility. Will you save Ciri, or will you just disappear into the wilderness? Job boards, fetch quests, bestiaries, RPGs are full of distractions. As players, we live this double life. Two timelines are interwoven together. There's what's happening as described on the back of a video game box, and there's what's happening in your head.
Remember how Breaking Bad changed the way we think of television? It broke the formula. It elevated the art form. It told a unique story with timeless themes. Like Breaking Bad, Red Dead Redemption 2 changed the way we think about video games. Rockstar shows you what's possible with gameplay through their story quests. They construct scenes that convey the dream of the cowboy fantasy. Robbing trains, getting wasted at the saloon, engaging in muddy brawls with the locals. They inspire you to come up with your own expeditions, plan your own routes, create your own objectives, and they use the main quests as teachable gameplay moments. These moments also hook you into the emotional arc of their characters. A good developer says yes to our desire to wander the world. We also expect to have compelling quests ready to go. Players want structure and freedom.
Quest guilt is a good thing. Like with television, quests can end on a cliffhanger. We should feel connected to the world and those who live in it. Sometimes when I'm out wandering the world, I'll think, man, it's been a while since I've talked to Yennefer. Or in Cyberpunk, I'll take a few random jobs, and then I'll go, I wonder what Johnny Silverhand is up to.
I want the chance to decide the fate of my character and the characters I interact with. Like, should I romance Triss or Yennefer?
That's the ultimate Golden Path guilt. Two characters who absolutely deserve Geralt's love. It's like they depend on the player to judge their love triangle situationship and just make the right call. Who will you commit to? Who will you abandon?
Games like The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077 nail this tension. CD Projekt Red has this ability to create a push and pull effect in their storytelling.
A well-crafted narrative pulls the player into its story, and a compelling world is full of distraction.
As a player, I look for games that acknowledge my impact on the people that surround me. When I push through a mainline quest, I expect the game will react. I expect to feel the weight of my choices when I'm not engaged in the main quest line. There's also the impact of time, adding pressure on the player agenda. Player motivation can be impacted by certain quests only being available in a select amount of time. There's so many creative ways that developers can apply a sense of urgency while also creating that sense of freedom.
When the story works, all those complicated plot points, twists, and turns boil down to simple emotions like pain, joy, discomfort, love, or even guilt.
You get addicted to emotional story beats. In Red Dead Redemption 2, your gang is getting slowly picked off. The emotional ping pong of loss and thrill within this beautiful Western world makes you want to see what's going to happen next. It's like a good book. You just can't put it down.
I think whether players are frustrated or elated, much of the success of an RPG boils down to its quest design.
For example, Kingdom Come Deliverance starts off with a bang because the developers at Warhorse Studios understand how to create compelling drama.
These traumatic emotional beats serve as a catalyst. Trauma calls the player into action. Linear beats splinter into a spiderweb of causation and effect. In other words, the player experiences choice and consequence. At the core of this questing spiderweb is the central conflict. The mainline quest is the calling card. It's the golden path.
Narrative designers draw the line that leads the player along the trail of breadcrumbs. These lines can be squiggly. If the conflict is compelling, we'll follow that squiggly line. We'll chase the breadcrumbs along the golden path. They dangle that carrot.
And sometimes bad things happen to characters we love in order to compel us to push forward. Kurt Vonnegut's rule number 6 for writing short stories is this: be a sadist. No matter how sweet and innocent your leading characters, make awful things happen to them in order that the reader may see what they are made of.
On one hand, an open world compels its players to experience its central narrative. On the other hand, it should give its players the chance to walk away. Open world RPGs grant players the right to choose whether or not the main quest is even worth their time.
Fallout 3 asks, would you like to find your dad? Fallout 4 asks, would you like to find your son? Oblivion asks, would you like to find the lost heir to the throne?
Usually my answer is, maybe eventually.
The film director Alfred Hitchcock spoke at a lecture saying that we have a name in the studio and we call it the MacGuffin. It is the mechanical element that usually crops up in any story. In crook stories, it is almost always the necklace, and in spy stories, it is most always the papers.
The ultimate MacGuffin is the One Ring. Imagine if Lord of the Rings played out like an open world RPG. Almost every critical moment would be sidelined for the party's chance to pick berries, craft potions, sell loot, and barter for gold. The guilt would be real.
When you look at tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, the best gameplay memories come from players getting distracted. The splintering effect of player choice creates webs of alternate paths.
Like tabletop gaming, video games are an interactive medium and players almost always deviate from the golden path. If a character matters to the player, then the character's plotline matters to the player as well.
A compelling story needs these types of characters to pull us back into the story conflict. We need to miss and love and worry for our NPC friends. Pain matters, pain causes discomfort, discomfort pushes for resolution. The more pain that the world endures, the more curious the player becomes to turn the page and resume the next chapter of the story. When developers craft dramatic narratives, we the players have a choice. Should we stay on the golden path or stray from it? This has been the Yetti Den, Jumpy Jumba. Where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Jumpy Jumba, JUMBYJUMBWA. I'll see you guys over there.
And if you guys like the show Tactically Sound, then just go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment. Let us know which games created the most amount of guilt for you when leaving behind NPCs to go do those random side quests. And we will see you guys next time. Later. Bye.
Peace.